Hello everyone. So welcome to our Module 6. We only have a couple modules left of the semester. If I pull up the calendar, get rid of that line, we are heading into Module 6 right here, and you can see 2 more weeks. So we have our final project is going to be compiled during these final 2 weeks. However, rest assured that you've already done all of the groundwork for our final project. And I'll say more about that in a minute. But if we go right into here, I'll go ahead, let me open it up in a new window. Our final project is going to be a targeted persuasion. And so we are carrying that same social behavior forward into this last project. And I hope you are realizing and understanding that it takes time to really delve into a topic or a behavior, in our case, to really understand that topic and lay a strong foundation upon which we can stand as we share our opinions and our findings on that topic. And so in our first writing project, it was an autoethnography, a very specific research method. And with that research method, we identified a social behavior that we have witnessed firsthand. And we made an argument that that behavior happens and that it matters. And that firsthand witness, that is incredibly important, incredibly valuable. Understand that what you have seen, what you have experienced in life matters to society and is impacted, continually impacted by society. And so that was our first step. And then the second step is, okay, now we've identified this behavior, how can we expand upon that and kind of go out of our firsthand knowledge to add more perspectives? And so we went out and we found 4 other authors who have also written about that behavior. And hopefully through that and writing the synopsis research report, we have gained a greater understanding of that behavior. We have our perspective, but we also have the perspectives of other experts upon which we can really form some strong opinions now. And so this final project, we are going to take those opinions that we have been forming and we are going to make an argument, but we are going to pick an intended audience. Everyone is going to pick their own audience. And this is going to be a choice where you are going to pick a specific group of people, a specific demographic of people. So it's never going to be anyone who cares or anybody who's interested. It's going to be a very specific group of people that you are choosing to convince, to act on something, to believe something, to do something about that social behavior. And so in choosing that intended audience, that audience and what they believe, what they know, what they value, what they care about, that is going to be the material or the inspiration on how we write this essay, because we need to write our final essay in a manner that would appeal to that intended audience if we are hoping to persuade them. And so read over this, watch this video where I explain everything, study these instructions, and you'll get the chance to annotate those and ask me a question. But first, let's look at the instructional content. I have a lot of instructional content here, all right? So most of the stuff in this week, don't panic, because this is stuff for you to study, for you to download, for you to really read over closely so that you can understand what's being expected and the best methods for persuading an intended audience. And so the first thing I have here are 2 examples of student essays so that you can see what a persuasive essay looks like. And at the top of each of these, I will open this first one. I'll open that one. At the top of these essays, I've also shared with you the intended audience that this student chose when they were writing this essay. And if this will hurry and pop up, you'll be able to see it. Here we go. The intended audience, readers who use book talk. So this is all about the darker side of book talk and kind of the discrimination that this student found within that community and that behavior, that kind of negative behavior. And so she's writing back to that community and kind of drawing attention to that. And so read over, look for how the way these students have organized their essays, their patterns of, sharing a thesis and then supporting that thesis, and how they cater to the audience. Okay, let me get back in here. So I have 2 of those. I'm also sharing some great handouts on writing. I've already shared this one, but writing strong introductions and writing strong conclusions. So many people, so many young writers or novice writers simply stop writing when they're done with the essay, and they forget to add in that conclusion. It can be a paragraph, it can be a couple of paragraphs, but that conclusion is your last chance to persuade your audience that your ideas, your main claim, your thesis is legitimate and something that they need to adopt, they need to believe. So conclusions are incredibly important. Read these. I would download these and I would carry them forward in your other classes because they are really good handouts. And then, as I mentioned, you're going to pick your intended audience, and it's all about catering your content to that audience. And so I've got a video here on targeting an audience, and I also have a lecture here where I have recorded and I have shared some examples of different authors who have written to different audiences. And so look over these. These will be really helpful in helping you understand how to cater to an audience and what that even looks like, what that means. And the final instructional content is all about organizing an essay and using this MEAT method. Main idea, evidence, explain, tie to thesis. And so look over these handouts on how to organize the essay using this method. It's a really, really helpful method. And then the things that we're going to do here, you already know this pattern. It is annotating the assignment instructions and then letting you know if you have any questions. Yes, I want to leave. And then this is all about the audience awareness. I have an audience analysis worksheet that you are going to fill out. You're going to let me know who your intended audience is. And again, this is going to be a specific group of people. It can be someone, oh, it's taking a few minutes. Let me refresh it and see if it helps. It can be someone, it could be your graduating class of your high school, your old high school. It can be students at Paradise Valley. It can be CEOs of businesses in the Phoenix Valley. Here, let me pause here and see if I can. There, I guess third time was a charm. So this, you're going to pick the audience, and it's going to be a specific group of people. Think of a specific demographic of people. And then you'll explore what you know about them. What do I know about them? What style of communication do they use? Okay, that will determine the style of communication you use in your essay. What changes do I need to make to my style? What do they already know about my topic? What do they need me to tell them about my topic, about this behavior? What are their values? And once you establish these details about your audience, you're going to incorporate them into your essay. Talk about their values. Talk about what they know, what they need to know. Okay? And then at the bottom, you are going to create a little avatar of your audience. Oops, where am I? That was the student example. I am clear back here. And an avatar, you don't have to go into this much detail, but anytime, like in marketing and advertising, if somebody really wants to persuade an audience, they will create an avatar or a representative of that audience, and they will name them. They will explain, who they are, what are their goals, what are their backgrounds, what do they care about. And so I'm going to ask you to just share about, 10 bullet points. Come up with a name that represents your intended audience and come up with some bullet points that describe them. And then as you write your essay, you can have that avatar in your mind, and it might be a little easier for you to write to an individual rather than a group. And then the last thing that we're going to do this week is you're going to, and this, it's not just a week, it's a little bit like 10 days, spread out. You're going to come up with an outline, a basic outline of the key points that you're going to be using in your essay. All right? Again, go back to that learning material. All of that material will help you with these activities. But reach out if you have any questions.